Yo guys, what is up? Today I'm bringing you the team analysis of week 2 of the GPC season 3, and I'm playing VCU Reshirams, better known as Pierre. Obviously his links will all be in the description below. And Pierre is, like me, an OG. He was in season 1, he was in season 2, and he is now back in season 3. Both other seasons he just missed out on the playoff spots. So yeah, you know what they say, three times the charm. So he is looking to be the one of the bigger threats in my division for the potential playoff spots, and yeah, that kind of means that I definitely have to win versus this guy, and especially if I want to keep him out of the playoffs again, which is yeah, obviously my goal. So yeah, but he has a pretty scary team. As you can see on the left side of the screen, his team consists of Landers Eye, which is not banned, of course, as you can see. It was banned in season 2 of the GPC, but it has been allowed in season 3 by vote. But Landers Eye, Suicune, Celebi, Crobat, Mega Beyonce, which is the NC of course, Meloetta, Dredigan, Escavalier, Mienshao, Shiftry, and Dusk Noir. So definitely not a team that I can roll around, that I can roll over, because he's quite a few months that managed quite well versus my team. Obviously depending on the sets he brings, because he might bring set that are not the better options, or it's not something that I expect. But we will see, So yeah, some things I noticed about his team that are potential flaws or potential some things that I can exploit versus him, or just use. He has one rock weakness, but he also has only one rock resist, meaning that a very powerful rock move can potentially destroy his team, as his resist is Mienshao, which is not the most common defensive mon. Let's rephrase it like that. But yeah, something like Rhyperior can potentially put in a lot of work with Stone Edges, Rock Blasts, Rock Slides, depending on the moveset I want to bring. Also, something I noticed on his team, in coverage, not coverage, in synergy wise, he has only one flying resist as well. He has 3 flying weaknesses, and only one flying resist, being Mega Diancie. So yeah, Murkrow or Skarmory could potentially put in a lot of work, especially Skarmory, since his only flying resist is of course Diancie, and Skarmory matches up quite well versus Diancie, as its Steel type can well, potentially kill Diancie in one hit, depending on its set. If it's fully physical defensive, it might not, I don't know, it's not on the cogs. But yeah, that has quite a decent matchup as well. Also, Ice, I put it as a note, Ice Spam is a potential. He has only 2 Ice resists, being Suicune and Escavalier, and he has 5 Ice weaknesses, so a potential Ice Beaming, spamming Ice Beam with Manaphy is an option, although his Escavalier and his Suicune are potentially very good checks. But Manaphy is suitable, is able to deal with both of them depending on the set I bring, I think at least. I might need a Skull Burden, but yeah, we'll see in the game how that's gonna be played. Also, something I noticed on his team, he only has one form of hazards, that's only Stealth Rocks. So he doesn't have spikes, he doesn't have T-spikes, so I don't have to fear any of those. And the biggest threat on his team, I fear, is Celebi, actually, as Celebi is a very versatile mon. Celebi can potentially be a nasty plot set, which is the thing I fear very much. Also Calm Mind set, but I think it's going to be special, as my team has a lot more physical build than special build. So I fear him being a special Celebi with nasty plot or Calm Mind. But he could potentially run coverage moves, he could potentially run Baton Pass, he could potentially run U-turn for other kinds of momentum. He might be a defensive set, he might be a Scarf set, everything is possible with Celebi. So I will most definitely have to fear Celebi during the whole game, and hopefully I can take it out very quickly, but yeah, we'll see if that's the case or if it's totally not the case. And the last thing on his team I noticed is that he has a lot of mons that can potentially U-turn out on me. And I didn't actually, you can't really prepare for a team with a lot of momentum necessarily. But I noticed last week versus Garrett that his team had a lot of momentum gainers as well with U-turn, and I didn't prepare or didn't know how the match was going to be played. Well, basically it happened a lot differently than I expected, because I expected to have the leading role constantly, but because he had so many momentum gainers that put me on the back foot really quickly, especially back in that game. He had Mega Scissor, which dealt with a decent bit of my team with U-turn, and the rest of his mons he had in the back could deal with the switch into the U-turn. So now that I know that's not necessarily a weakness of mine, but I have to look out for it if I see a team with a lot of U-turners or volt switches, momentum gainers in general. And Pierre has one of those teams, so I will have to adjust my playstyle to that, and I will have to recognize the fact that I won't be having the momentum during the whole game. I won't be having the upper hand, and most likely will have the have to switch the momentum in my side in the end game, like I did with Garrett. So yeah, that's basically his team and my notes on his team, and I don't think I have to say too much else. Nah, let's just quickly go into my team, I guess. Alright, and onto my team then. First of all, this is not the right screen, this is the right screen. First of all, we're gonna lead off with Skarmory. Skarmory has a fantastic matchup versus his team as a defensive mon, as his team mainly consists of Landers Eye, Mega Diancie, Meloetta, Escavalier, Mienshao, Shiftry. All of these things get basically hardballed by Skarmory. Of course, Meloetta can run something like T-Bolt, which it more likely will run. Landers has to, at best, run HP Electric, maybe HP Fire. I think HP Electric would be the better choice versus my team if you look at it. So I think HP Electric on Landers would be the best thing he has to hit me with if he decides to run Landers. Suicune can beat it, especially with Burns and Calm Minds up, as I do not have Whirlwind. Celebi needs to have HP Fire or HP Electric as well. Crobat, Heatwave at best. Meloetta, T-Bolt, like I said. Dragon maybe if it's like Life Orb, Sheer Force with Fire Punch. I think it gets Fire Punch, yeah. Escavalier, if it's Bandit, it could do some good damage with like knockoffs. That's right, I think around 40%. So, but still, Mienshao, if it's Scarfed, which is the most likely set, although I don't think he will bring either. I don't think he will bring Life Orb or Scarf. But it might be very cool and bring like Sword Stance Mienshao, but I still don't think it's gonna do that much work. But yeah, Life Orb Xiao could potentially kill Skarmory in 2 hits. Scarf Xiao cannot if Skarmory is at full. Shiftry is basically, well, I do have Mega Venusaur on the team as well, so Shiftry's not gonna do as versus my team unless it's like Nasty Plot with extra sensory. That's the best thing that has to do with Venusaur, so I'm not really afraid of any Shiftry sets with Skarmory. And Dusknoir is the only thing that could potentially be a problem because it can Will-O-Wisp, as my Skarmory set does not carry Taunt. Unfortunately, it basically has the 4 moves dot syndrome, as I cannot run Brave Bird and I cannot run Taunt on the same on the moveset I have, as I am running Toxic, Stealth Rock, Roost and Iron Head. Stealth Rock should be obvious. He basically has one weakness to Stealth Rock, Crobat, and everything else gets just hit neutrally except for Mienshao. So the rocks are pretty important, especially since Mienshao could potentially have Regenerator. So, but yeah. Next move I have is Toxic. Toxic is there to hit up stuff like Suicune and force it into a rest if it carries rest. It can put Landers to on a timer, because if it is something like HP Electric, I can more than likely not beat it, as it does around 50. Well, maybe I can, but I could use like with the Toxic so I can restall it if possible. And basically it's the best thing to hit Dusknoir with, since Brave Bird or Iron Head both won't hit Dusknoir for shit. Escavalier and Crobat kind of ball this set. And Celebi has Natural Cure, but it needs to switch out before it can get Natural Cured. But Crobat can just roost off, taunt me perhaps, and do its shenanigans. If it's the default set with Roost and Taunt, which I expect him to be, it could potentially beat Skarmory, but Skarmory doesn't take that much damage from it. Like it balls it to an extent, but it cannot roost up. So in some way it beats me, some way I beat it. But yeah. Next up is, like I said, the Escavalier. It also beats my set. Not beats my set because I can roost up the damage. but the Iron Head, if it is left over, the Iron Head, my PP will get outstalled before I kill Escalade. And I don't really have the best switch-ins to it, so hopefully I can weaken it, or I can knock up leftovers if it carries leftovers, and if it's like Assault Vest or Choice Bandit, then I can beat it 1v1. But I do not expect him to stay in and make the PP stall a thing, so yeah. And obviously the Iron Head, like I said in the first few minutes of the video, Bravebird, he has like 0 switches to Bravebird, and especially since Skarmory carries the Iron Head more than likely for Mega Dancy, it has no switches at all. But like I said, this Skarmory moveset does not carry Bravebird, as I just couldn't fit it on the team. The Iron Head is necessary, I think, because I do want to beat Mega Dancy 1v1. Although he is more likely not going to stay in, or maybe he is, maybe he's going to predict me to not carry Iron Head. I don't know why he would, but yeah. I basically need to guarantee that I can get myself accept versus Mega Dancy, as with Bravebird I cannot, and yeah. And obviously Roost, because I want to keep walling the health of his team, as that's Skarmory's job, and it cannot do its job well without Roost. Next up is Mega Venusaur. It's the 4th one on the slot, but it's the second port of the core with Skarmory, as Venusaur basically checks most of the threats that Skarmory does not check, as it is a good check to Suicune because it carries the Giga Drain and the Roar. With this special attack investment, I can 2-hit KO any Suicune set unless it Calm Minds up on me, which it very likely will do. And that's why I carry the Roar, to be able to beat it 1v1, as I don't want to get set up on by a Calm Minding Suicune and lose, because yeah, I keep spamming Giga Drain and it does just don't do enough damage. So I want to carry the Roar just to guarantee counter slash check just a normal Suicune, the Calm Mind Crocoon thingy. Yeah, could potentially carry something like Extra Sensory and Crocoon, but or Crocoon, maybe an offensive Suicune, but I'll have to scout for it, I guess. Celebi kinda beats depending on the set. That's why Celebi is the biggest threat in my opinion to my team. I will come back to that in a bit. I think I already said a little bit about it, but Crobat, this spread makes sure that Crobat does not 2-hit kill me. Not that I necessarily need it, because I cannot beat Crobat, as I the best thing I have to hit it with this knockoff, so yeah. Mega NC could be a problem, but I do wall his set pretty nicely, because the diamond thingy is not going to do too much damage because I'm physically defensive, and his especially the offensive moves like Hidden Power Flying at best, I think, Hidden Power Psychic will not do that much damage to me. I can guarantee it with 2 of those. And Earth Power and Moonblast are not the strongest moves either versus a Mega Venusaur. Meloetta can easily beat me, but I don't think it's going to be a Specs or Scarf Meloetta, as he is more likely not going to want to lock himself into a Psychic move versus my team with a Murkrow on it. So I think it's going to be something like Life Orb, Assault Vest, Calm Mind. I think Calm Mind would be the best set for him to run, but Specs is also something I definitely fear, as it is very powerful, Meloetta. Yeah, Dirtigun, I cannot hit Dirtigun for too much damage, but it cannot touch me for that much damage either, so I can knock off and roar and just sensor off the damage he did to me. As this is kind of my Dirtigun switch in anyway, so well, Skarmory can beat, of course. Next up, Escavalier. I want to knock off Escavalier, as if he's Choice Band, I knock off Choice Band. If he is Assault Vest, I knock off Assault Vest. So I think this is a nice one to knock it off with. I think the matchup is not unlikely for to happen, that an Escavalier is facing my Mega Venusaur. So a knockoff would be fantastic, and I outspeed, so I can easily send this up the damage. Mienshao, this beats Mienshao any day. Unless it's like Life Orb Aerial Ace, it might do some damage to me. I don't know, not on the cogs, maybe I should, but yeah. Shiftry, like I said, the only thing that Shiftry can do is like Extra Sensory me, and even that doesn't do too much damage. I don't counter that set of Mega Shiftry, as I do not have Sludge Bomb, which is, well, I'm still a little bit unsure if I want to run Senses or Sludge Bomb, but Senses is, I think, will be the better option. But yeah, I think the Shiftry is a little bit in check as well because of the other team members I have. So yeah, basically those two are my core. and they take on anything on his team except for Dustmore, as Dustmore can blue both of them, and I don't have Aromatherapy or Heal by user. I might change it, something on my team for that Aromatherapy Heal because I do fear burns and I do feel like Skull Burn with Suicune. But yeah, for now I do not have that on this set, on this team I mean. And also Crobat could potentially be a problem, as it can be a Taunt Crobat or it can be a Nestbot Crobat, which both kinda deal well with my team, but do have flaws because the rest of the team can hopefully deal with it as well. And yeah, the only big problem to this team is still a Celebi. A Celebi beats both of those, depending on itself of course, but I assume he's gonna run moves that cover Skarmory and Mega Venusaur, which is not that difficult to do. So, and the rest of the team, as you can see, is not that strong versus Celebi. Only Murkrow can really do damage to it, and even that, as you can see, Murkrow is so scored, so it's not the Life Orb set which I ran in the previous game, so it lacks a little bit of power, but still is pretty strong, and I don't have to rely on Sucker Punches to scout for its offensive, its speed stat basically, if it's speedy enough to outspeed Murkrow. So yeah. So onto Murkrow, basically Murkrow is a Pursuit Trapper for the Meloetta, as I think Meloetta can be Pursuit Trapped really easily. Don't know if he will predict me to Pursuit or predict me to Sucker Punch, as well I did Pursuit, I used Pursuit last week, so he can potentially predict me to run a Pursuit on Murkrow and predict me to Pursuit his Meloetta. So he might stay in, I don't know yet, we'll see in the battle if it actually happens or not, I don't know yet of course, as I'm playing Pierre in roughly an hour, 2 hours maybe. Steel Wing is obviously for the Mega Diancie, as Mega Diancie outspeeds Murkrow, and it's the only Brave Bird resist, so I want to have Steel Wing to hopefully catch it on the switch. And if I do not catch it on the switch, maybe I can just clear it in with the lead, maybe even. If Steel Wing versus Diancie, he Megas up, or he protects maybe, and then Megas up, and thinks he outspeeds me, and I outspeed it, and he kills, he dead. Brave Bird, because Brave Bird is unresisted, except for Mega Diancie, and Scarf Brave Bird basically deals with stuff like, let's see, Shift 3 of course, because it can potentially be the extra sensory Shift 3. It also deals with Meloetta, it does nice damage to Meloetta just in case I predict him to not switch. It is also nice damage to Crobat, which can be potentially very crucial, as Crobat, like I said, is a threat. Celebi as well does massive damage. And First Landers Aya does the damage I needed to do, as that is the damage, my apologies, that is the damage I needed to do because my Rhyperior can take it out from that range with a Rock Slide, as I will show that set in a little bit. Running max speed, Jolly, as I do not think his Meloetta will be Scarfed, and I don't think his Shift 3 will be Scarfed, so I am not fearing those two as Scarfers, so I can run Adamant. And I'm running max speed because yeah, Meloetta is base 9 speed and he doesn't really have knockoff user, but in case I get knocked off, I still outspeed Meloetta, so, and I don't really need the HP investment, I don't think, but maybe we'll see though. So yeah, next up Manaphy. Manaphy is a Tail Glow set with Energy Ball, Scald and Ice Beam. Scald basically for the stab and it just burns stuff. Ice Beam, as he has 5 ice weak moves, and Scald hits the other, the two resist, as being Escavalier and being Suicune. Suicune needs to be a Calm Mind, Restock Suicune to potentially be a threat versus Meloetta even. Meloetta, I mean versus Manaphy, or it needs to be Calm Mind, I want to say Calm Mind Roar, but if he's Calm Mind Roar then he doesn't have an attacking move, as he will probably need Rest and Sleep Talk. He could be Rested Chesto, I don't know yet. But yeah, that's why I carry Energy Ball, in case he is like a Calm Minding Crocoon type of Suicune. And I can just go up on it and Energy Ball and kill it in 2 hits, because with the Calm Mind up I don't OHKO. But yeah, that's basically Manaphy. It also just does a massive amount of damage to the rest of his team, as he really doesn't have anything that can OHKO me, except for a Celebi, which will be a speed tie. And for everything else, basically Landers Eye does around 60% with Earth Powers, 60 to 70 I think, so Mega Diancie does around that much, a little bit less I think. So yeah, that's basically the only reason I have Manaphy. It's just to put a hole in his team, hopefully. I have support in Alakazam, which I will come to in a second, but onto my main sweeper, and that is Rock Polish Rhyperior. As I said, he really doesn't have any rock resist except for Miencio. Don't know if he's gonna run Miencio. I don't think he will. I don't know if I added in the predicted team because I forgot, so if I didn't edit it, then I will end the video with it. But basically this set is max speed, at least enough speed to outspeed Mega Diancie after Mega Evolvement and Timid 1, as he will probably be timid to outspeed Menifee and such. So Timid Menifee, Timid Mega Diancie, I outspeeded and can KO with an Earthquake. The Rock Slide of course for Crobat, which hopefully cannot dodge me. If he is the Giga Drain Nest set, I can easily Giga Drain without the Rinder Berry, but if he Nest up, I can live it with the Rinder Berry as well. And this is also the Rinder Berry also for the Celebi in case I need it as a lure, or if it's Scarred Celebi or whatever it might be. So yeah, that's why Rinder Berry. And with the set I can basically sweep his whole team except for Landorus, but like I said, the Landorus, the only damage I need is the damage from Rock Slide from a Murkrow to kill it, or vice versa. The damage from Murkrow Breakbird to have Rock Slide kill it from my Rhyperior. Suicune can obviously beat this. This was a Sword Dance dual dance set. I changed it for a Mega Horn because Celebi and Meloetta mainly. But Suicune needs to get whittled or even killed before I can sweep it this Rhyperior set, as a Scald from a Suicune does around 100%. It's a roll. The roll is, I didn't know if you could hear it, but anyway, the roll is in his favor to kill, so I really don't want to risk it. And even with stealth or damage up, the chances even higher for him to kill me with Scald. So yeah. But this is a great sweeper. I think this can potentially put in work. The only thing again that really stops me, except for the Suicune and potentially Landorus if it didn't do the damage yet, is a Dusknoir, which can will-o-wisp me. So Dusknoir is a huge threat to this team. I don't think he will bring it, but if he does, then this team will struggle against it. So I need to get a Toxic off with Scrummy to beat it. I also potentially can switch in Alakazam, as Alakazam is the Magic Word Alakazam, so Will-o-wisp will be taken without getting damaged, and I can potentially Encore it, or I can set up my screens, as this is a screen setter, obviously, Alakazam. With Psyshock, as I think Meloetta is the most likely switch in. Another switch in he has is obviously the Escavalier, but I don't know if he's gonna run Escavalier at all, and if he's gonna switch it in over Meloetta versus Alakazam, so yeah. Light Screen Reflect to help Menifee and Rhyperior set up their moves with more ease, and for them to put in more work. Encore, like I said, is for something like Dusknoir, which can get locked into something like Will-o-wisp if it does not carry the Shadow Sneak, which it potentially might if he's running it. And Light Screen Reflect, and yeah, Psyshock and Encore, basically the moveset speaks for itself. I don't have to give too much in-depth information as to why I run this set. So I think I'm able to beat this whole team. The threats I do see on this team are still Suicune and Celebi. Potentially Crobat, I have to scout for the moveset, and Dusknoir is a mon that I have trouble with, but I do not expect him to win it, as I have mons like Coferigus. Well, I guess Dusknoir could deal with Coferigus, but mons like Romatis, which basically shouldn't care about the Dusknoir's damages, and yeah, you know, stuff like that. So I don't think he's gonna run it. The team I do expect him to run is, let's see, I have it up in this note thingy. The team I expect him to run is Meloetta, Crobat, potentially a special Crobat, like I said. Otherwise, if not the special set, it's gonna be the Defogger. I think he's gonna run Mega Diancie, as it is his only Brave Bird switch in from my Murkrow. And it also deals with the other type of Murkrow that the Murkrow has, so it should be a counter to Murkrow if he does not expect to steal one. I expect him to bring Suicune, I expect him to bring Celebi, and the last mon is either Escavalier or it's going to be Dusknoir. I think either of those two are going to be his potential 6th mon. I obviously am not expecting Landorus Eye. I did prepare for Landorus Eye, but yeah, I don't think he's going to run it. So. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching this video. Let me obviously know in the comments below if you think I prepared well enough, if you think this team is capable of winning versus Pierre, and if not, what would you have changed on this team, and please tell me why and the reasoning and all behind it. And Let me know what you predict the outcome to be, and of course leave a like if you did enjoy this video, as that's gonna be very much appreciated by me. And yeah, I think that's it. I think I will see you tomorrow when I will upload the match versus Pierre, and I will prove you why this team was in fact capable of beating Pierre. So see you for now, and until tomorrow.